Oh, what's up, everybody? It's John Delorier, host of Big Roofs Podcast. Today I have Michael Gogan. He's an industry pillar, been with a lot of different companies people know. Yeah, you are, dude. You are. I knew about you a long time ago. Michael Gogan's with Hirebus. I don't know what your title is. What's your title?
VP of partnerships. If you want to get real fancy, we can even throw strategic in there. VP of strategic partnerships.
Strategic partnerships. Love it. And Michael and I have kind of met each other a long time ago, but today we're going to talk about Hirebus. The big crux of a lot of people's problem is what you guys solve. Michael, tell me what you do now. Introduce yourself. Why should people listen to this podcast?
A lot of pressure there. Hopefully they already know why they should listen. They're here. But Michael Gogan with Hirebus, like John said. And I've been in the industry for about 10 years, and I've been in the software portion of the industry that whole time. So, 10 years ago, I knew nothing about roofing at all. And still to this day, probably could try to start a roofing company and, maybe he's Hirebus and not fail miserably, but, I'm not a roofer by trade. I'm from the software space and the education world to begin. But Hirebus, we are a software that helps home service blue collar contractors with the people side of their business. And I say the word software first. Like there's an element of, headhunting depending on the type of role that you're looking for with us. But a lot of our roles, we have, really dialed it into where our software just is running. We're using AI and sifting through resumes, scheduling phone interviews, doing phone interviews. And then our goal is to set up our clients with the top 3% of talent. So that way you're not wasting time interviewing people that have no business doing final interviews. That's where we rely on the software to get us to the right people.
Love it. Yeah. So that's a huge thing. I'll just emphasize again, like your goal is to connect the top 3%. Like that's a huge deal. And people, speaking from personal experience, hiring the wrong people, not having a process, not running the right ads. I have had my share of, we talked about before we hit record, like the ability to track revenue per people that you hire. Well, you can track failure in revenue. You can track lost revenue pretty easily with people who are just underperforming, or they're not a good culture fit, or they don't share the same value. There's a lot of pain when it comes to hiring the wrong people. I just want to touch really quickly on just straight off your website. I mean, hiring is hard, but you automate job ads. That's a huge thing. Like we don't know what to say, we don't know how to write the ads. Then you have a scoring system called the right seat scoring. That's a huge, huge deal that I thought was very interesting the last time we talked. Like that's how you get that top 3%. And then finally, we're talking about the pick time suck, which is like you have AI powered interview scheduling. Like you're choosing that is a huge thing. This is a time saver, but it's more than a time saver. You're really actually getting the best candidates in front of you, and you're not wasting tons and tons of time because we're busy. I don't care if you're a small operation, medium, large, we're busy. We don't want to just be doing interviews every day, all day. And I really, really love what you guys do. So kind of moving down the track with that, we as roofing contractors should be good at selling jobs, right? We should be good. We should have a sales process. I was terrible at hiring people. You guys fill that gap. And so AI and speed to candidate is what I like. I like that term from ChatGPT. AI and speed to candidate gives you a hiring advantage, just like speed to lead does in sales. Let's talk about that. Like, where Hirebus kind of fits into that mold.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the speed to candidate is a line I love because everybody understands speed to lead, speed to lead, speed to lead, speed to lead. We talk about it all the time. That's what you guys kind of hang your hat on, or one of the hooks you hang your hat on is speed to lead and how vital that is. And speed to candidate is arguably, in my opinion, more important because when you have that perfect candidate enter your pipeline, there's a good chance that they're entering other pipelines simultaneously or in that same window. And so it's not one roof that you're trying, hey, if I'm slow to this lead, I might miss out on a roof. If I'm slow to that perfect candidate, I might miss out on a multi-million-dollar producer because someone else is going to go and gobble them up, if that makes sense. And so, leveraging a software like HireBus to get that speed to candidate is, in my opinion, it's mission critical. They land on your ad, wherever they find that, and Indeed, Facebook, wherever, we route them to a careers page that we create with our clients. So we get them off of wherever they're finding out, and we get them to a careers page that is you, the contractors page. They fill out that initial kind of questionnaire. We call it the ideal candidate blueprint. They fill that out, and then boom, we're taking them right into uploading a resume. And then our AI is doing its work, and it's, parsing through that resume and pulling out the important stuff. And while, we're moving them along the funnel, they take that right seat assessment that you mentioned there. And we're seeing what is this person? Is this person built for sales? Is this person built for production management? What are they built for? And then we're just continuing down that path where we're getting them into a phone screen interview. And we are really close to launching. It probably has a chance to actually go live by the time this podcast goes live. But what we're calling 3.0, I'll let the cat out of the bag. We're going to use AI to do that phone screen. So literally, John, you land on my page at 3 a.m. and you're out hunting for jobs. You could go from that initial questionnaire all the way through your phone screen in about 25 minutes without ever leaving that page. You're just round there. And I've tested with it. I just threw a random resume in, and then when I was doing the phone screen, I said, hey, I have 6 years experience, and bam, it caught it. I was like, hey, your resume shows you only have 3 years of experience. Can you help me understand the delta there? Where's that coming from? And it's really, honestly, it's unbelievable how skilled that AI is at conducting that phone screen. And then if everything checks out, we're saying, hey, perfect, let's get you on the calendar for a final interview, And so just the same as you guys are doing with ProLine on Speed to Lead, HireBus is going to be doing that same thing for Speed to Candidate, and we're going to get you on the calendar with final interviews if you check the boxes at all hours, 24/7, 365. And so I think, that's really going to change the game for a lot of these contractors because, like you said, they are busy. And they get an application in, and it might be 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, God forbid it comes in on a Friday afternoon before they even get any outreach to that candidate.
Yeah, I really do love that entire scenario. I was just thinking as a roofing contractor, how important it was if we had an ideal customer, right? We're looking to sell this ideal customer. It's a big roof. We're going to make a lot of profit. They're checking all the boxes for pre-qualification. How important that speed to lead was. What you just said is totally true. Speed to candidate can, in revenue perspective, is so much more valuable because I've hired the wrong people. And then before I sold my business, we had awesome people. Our team was running really efficiently. Sales reps were awesome. Production managers, we had the accounting side thing. Everything was all very smooth, and it was making us profit and making us more efficient. And so having the right people, I made all the wrong mistakes. Having a system like this that can help you actually scale your business the right way. We talk about that all the time. Scale your business the right way. Well, what does that look like? It's the right people in the right seats. That's what you guys do. It's so much easier said than done. It's not oh, I work out with this person and they're fun and they're friendly and I should hire them. That's what I've done. Or, your friends are, oh, they're great. Are you hiring? You should hire them. And one interview done. Yep. There needs to be there's no silver bullet for anything, but there needs to be an unemotional, analytical approach the way that HireBus hires people, or at least, filters the candidates. Because that's the problem with a lot of people like me. My personality type is very much, I want people to win. I like, this is a nice person, I want them to win. But that's not necessarily the best fit for your business. So the way you guys have it set up, that it avoid, like, for people like me, it would bypass all that emotion, all that like desire. And everybody wins then, because you have the right person, the right seat, the company wins, everybody wins.
Here's how roofers make it home for dinner every single night without losing a single sale, even when they're one-man shows. Automate your communication with ProLine, the only communication-first CRM for roofers. Because when you fix your communication, you'll sell more jobs. Your weekends will smell more like sunscreen and backyard barbecues than that crappy gas station coffee. And all you got to do is ask these roofers.
Where we had about 200% growth, and I attribute that to incorporating ProLine.
But just with one automation, I was able to get 25 Google reviews.
It's been absolutely insane how quickly we were able to grow.
Now, ProLine's not going to win the beauty pageant, but it will save your Saturday. Now, back to the show.
Absolutely. You hit on something there that's pretty important, and that's that taking the emotion out, pulling the gut feel out. And I've been using the analogy a lot lately. And I actually was joking internally yesterday. I made a post about firefighters, and a lot of times contractors aren't hiring until there's a fire, and they say, I have a fire over here and I need to put that out, so I need to go and get some firefighters. And unfortunately, in the moment of crisis, every single person that shows up with a bucket and any amount of water seems like a good firefighter. You have a bucket and a little bit of water, like, that'll probably help us. And the guts involved, and there's kind of that like sense of urgency. And you hit on it where it's like, hey, we've got to pull that emotion out. We've got to pull that out. And that's really the two big things, in my opinion: being able to pull that emotion out and getting a little bit more proactive in your hiring, to where you're not getting to where, hey, it's on fire already. Maybe I can see the fire starting, and that helps me with my proactivity. But a lot of times it's pretty easy to map this out. Like, we help our clients map it out all the time. Hey, where are you at today? I'm at 4 million. What can every roofer tell you? What they did last year and what they're going to do this year.
Yeah.
Like across the board. Hey, how big are you guys? It's never like, oh, we have, this many people. Like, sometimes I guess it is, but most of the time it's like, oh, we did 4 million last year, we're going to do 10 million this year. What are you going to need to add for people for that? Pricing, sales reps. I don't know the production. You don't know. And honestly, it's not their fault, because they've never scaled to that point. And so it's like, I don't know, I'm going to need that people. And then they get to the point where it's like, I've got a fire over here. I better start running some ads and hiring really fast. And that's honestly probably our biggest hurdle, is changing their current like hiring methodology, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're used to, storm hits, I need a bunch of door knockers, I better hire 15 sales reps, because only 1 or 2 are going to stick. And in reality, if I think there's a good chance there's going to be a storm coming in, I'm better off getting that process started 2-3 months earlier. And instead of going 15 hires and keeping 1 or 2, let me just go find the right 2-3 hires, get them in, get them selling, get them producing. Same thing with production, labor, all of those things. It's not just sales specific. You're going to need to scale your people across all of your different, divisions.
Yep. Any business needs to be proactive in interviewing and hiring people. You don't have to do it right now, but it's the summer, right? It's July. Roofers should be roofing. And we talked before we hit record. Having new ProLine customers right now is kind of scary, because they should be busy. They shouldn't be switching their CRMs right now. That doesn't really make sense for most people. Now, we are making, we have new customers this month, and last month in May, we had all these new customers. It's great. We're thankful for them, but we're having to make sure that we're preparing them as fast as possible so that they can continue to be like, get them up and running in a very short period of time. ProLine just hired 10 new people. It's this technically the slowest month of the year from a sales perspective. Why did we do that? everything you just said is why we did that. Because hiring an amazing candidate, that's great. If they're not integrated in your culture and your systems and your processes, understanding your sales system, like, it's going to take some time. You can't do it when the fire is actually blazing. You have to do it well before you even get in the fire truck. Like, you've got to prepare your business for the growth. Like, just like what you said, well, we did 4 million last year. We're going to do 6 million this year. All right. Well, you need to start doing that all the time. You need to always have people in the hiring mentality, and like put it on your schedule as a leader, as an owner, or a sales manager, or whatever positions who's actually interviewing people. Needs to be a consistent thing. I wish I had done that as an owner. I wish that I had HireBus for real, because I didn't have a solution. There was no, like, I was just shooting in the dark. I would just put ads out there that I had no idea about, and I get candidates, but I didn't know if they're good. I didn't know anything about them really. And that was a problem. That was a problem for us, because we had to make a lot of financial mistakes by hiring the wrong people for a lot of years, and then we finally had a good team. So we're intentionally hiring a bunch of people right now so that we can be prepared for, and no surprise to anybody, software busy time is when roofers are slow. So we're getting prepared months and months and months ahead of time so that our entire team is amazing for when we go into the sales season of expos, conferences, all those things. That's the same kind of thing. And we're always hiring. Like, we're always trying to hire at ProLine. We're trying to hire. All businesses should be trying to do that. They should be trying to find the best candidate. Because I know as an owner how exciting it was when I found awesome people, and how much I say, I love them so much. I love them so much. They're making my life so much better. They are happy in their business, their role. But it takes time. It takes time to find the right people.
Let me hit on that a little bit, because I love where you're at. Because, I mean, being at Company Cam for 7+ years, August, like the tail end of August, into September, October, like, it doesn't get much busier than those months. They'll tell you, and then you'll spin around, and obviously February, March, April are really darn good months as well in the software space. But you hit the nail on the head. You're going in advance, and you're getting people into the seats, and you're getting them trained up so that they can hit the ground running for busy season. The other thing that I would, and this is just kudos to ProLine, but that is so important, is building that employer brand, if that makes sense. Creating that place where people want to go and work, because like you said, hey, we're hiring in advance. We're building our team the way we need. You also can be building benches of talent in the contracting world as well, to where it's like, okay, hey, I'm always running ads. I'm always doing interviews. Maybe I don't have the perfect role for John over here, but man, John checks a lot of boxes. And I'm going to build this bench of talent. And I'm going to lead John on great terms and say, John, we're not really hiring for that role right now. We have to fill what we're doing, but we always are in a hiring motion. Is it all right if I go to put you on our list and I give you a call as soon as something opens up? Now I'm building a bench of talent versus, think of the complete 180 that is, where, contractor A is over here building a strong brand, building a bench of talent. Contractor B is over here reacting to everything. You're never going to catch up with that. You're going to be in this like cyclical cycle of bad hire, maybe one sticks. And then I'm constantly over, churning through. And that's where that frustration with hiring comes. Cause I love asking people at conferences, like, hey, what's your favorite part about hiring? When it's done, it's usually the answer get or nothing. Like, I hate hiring. But that's because of all the trouble that they've had in their past. It's been painful. It's been a struggle, and being proactive and building that employer brand is about as, in my opinion, is about as important as anything. It's the same concept of building your brand from a sales perspective. Go look at, if you're listening to this, go look at your Facebook right now. How many of the posts on there would be education? Like, I love education. Education is amazing. You should be educating your potential clients. you should be making posts like that. But how many of them are sales focused versus like culture focused and celebrating the things you do as a company, those kind of things? Because, if I go and do an event with my team, or we go out to the ballpark, or we sponsor something, or we do whatever, and we tag a whole bunch of our team members at it, there's a good chance that they're going to maybe share it, push it out there. And now I'm building this kind of omnipresence in my community that I need to be hiring in. ProLine's done that across the country. You know what I'm saying? Like my AZEC company camp was a place people wanted to go and work. It was a great place to work. And that will make hiring the right people in the high-end A players that much easier. It's like, oh, do I want to go work for this company that I really never heard anything about? I don't know the people there, or this one that's got this great brand. I see them all over. It looks like it's an awesome place to work. Those are the things to be thinking about as a contractor.
Totally agree. There was for production, sales, any role, it was way easier to hire when we had a great brand. I mean, it was just like they were coming to me. We really didn't have it's bad that did not have a hiring process like HireBus provides, but it was good that it had a really strong brand that people were really, hey, you should hire this person. Like literally, that's how we got people. I'd have friends who would say, this guy's awesome. You should interview him. He may be a good fit for your business. Just because that's great. That's great.
And guess what? Your ad dollars, when you go and sponsor ads on Indeed or on Facebook or wherever you're sponsoring ads, ZipRecruiter or whatever you're doing, your ad dollars go so much farther when you have a good brand.
Yeah.
It's just like your ad dollars when you're trying to sell. It's like, hey, it's way easier to acquire customers when everybody knows about us, versus when we're brand new and we have to spend a ton more to acquire customers. Same is true with acquiring talent.
Love it. Well, there's lots of things we can talk about hiring all day long, but I think I'm really excited for what you guys do and how, like, the gap that you really feel. Like, you fill this gap in the industry. You do. Like, you're using AI. I'm super excited about that. What's it going to be called? 3.0?
3.0, yeah. So HireBus 3.0, and it's really not a ton different. Like, we've already got the AI parsing through resumes, those kind of things, but to be able to stack essentially in real time your answers to the questions, your traits-based assessment results, your resume that we parse through with AI, and your fund stream, for us to be able to, in less than 30 minutes, all without them feeling like they've ever left this interview process, parse through that and say, hey, this person is built for production management. This person is built for inside sales, outside sales, whatever it is. That is absolutely going to change the game. And then, we'll just come in and say, hey, based on your market, we would recommend using Indeed and LinkedIn and Facebook, and here's the ad spend. We've got a client right now that they're not really doing any Indeed. We're pretty much doing all LinkedIn outreach, but 3.0 still works. We're still can send people right through that funnel of, hey, look, you landed here, and within 30 minutes, you feel like you've done a first round of interview versus, and the alternative to that is, like, even if I filled out the application and submitted my resume, if I don't hear anything back, I'm feeling like I still need to keep looking. Whereas this is like, oh, I already got to a final interview. This is really awesome. And, so that'll be great. And the cool thing is too, then the contractor, they can always come in and look at people that completed the steps, but didn't automatically go to final interview. And they can always move people over themselves if they're like, yeah, I'll take a shot on that one. I'll take a shot on this one. This one's close. But that way you're still not parsing through hundreds of resumes to get to a hire.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Well, again, I think you guys are really positioned to help a lot of people. And that's always fun because we're always trying to help people, right? That's what we're trying to do. Help people grow their businesses the right way. Anything else you want to go anything else you want to say before we go?
No, I mean, I think we kind of hit the nail on the head. I think my biggest thing, like you said, is helping people. And whether you come and use HireBus or not, I think, I think back to my days when I owned a donut company locally and, made a ton of hiring errors myself. I think the biggest thing I can push is be proactive in your hiring. Start thinking about hiring before you think you probably should be. It will pay off in the end. It takes a little bit of time to get the right people. Honestly, the right people probably already are working somewhere. The people you want in your business probably are gainfully employed somewhere right now today. And so it's going to take a little bit of time. You're not going to go and find somebody instantly, or most often you're not. And then be thinking about that hiring brand. What are you doing? What's your careers page on your website look like? What are you posting on social media to drive your place of business as a place to, people want to come and work? And honestly, I think that checks multiple boxes. Like if I see businesses in the community supporting things and it's like, man, that looks like a really awesome place to work, I might say, hey, that also is probably a really awesome place to do business. So yeah, that would be my thing, is get proactive in your hiring and then really think about your hiring brand as you're going. We'd obviously love to have you using HireBus, but if it's not for you, no worries.
Sounds good. Well, so other than hirebus.com, what's the best way for people to
Yep, hirebus.com/ProLine. We'll take you right there. You can book a demo with our team. If you just have questions, if you want to do an audit on where you're at today, where you're going to be in 12 months and what you need from the people perspective, Michael at hirebus.com. I've got some resources I can send you that we just call them our Oasis growth tool. And you can basically walk through it and it'll say, hey, where you're at today and where you wanted to be, you're probably going to need to hire 2 of this role, 1 of this role. And it kind of just builds you that, project menu out.
Love it. Love it. Well, Michael, thank you for coming on. Everybody go to hirebus.com and hire people through HireBus because it will help your business. And thanks everybody for watching Big Roofs Podcasts. Until next time, see ya.